Scientists have spent trillions of dollars in projects to know about this massive universe of which we are a tiny part. They have launched humans, satellites, starships to gigantic telescopes in space to know anything they could and, most importantly, find Earth 2.0. However, despite all the time, money, and effort, scientists could not find the possibility of life anywhere else in this universe. But the hopes of scientists went up high with the launch of the billion-dollar James Webb Space Telescope. Join us in today's video to find out where do scientists think that James Webb can find alien life and how birthdays are going to ease your way in discovering the habitable planet. When you look at the night sky, you get a mesmerizing view of thousands of twinkling stars, but these stars are far less in number than the exoplanets out there. So, can you imagine how many there can be? Like our Earth and other planets in our solar system orbit around the Sun, there are some other planets that orbit a star other than our Sun. These planets are called exoplanets. As the name suggests, these planets are far, far outside our own solar system. The first exoplanet was found in 1992, orbiting a pulsar. After that, thousands more have been discovered. As of April 1st, 2022, there are 4,984 confirmed exoplanets. Describing their composition, NASA says that by measuring exoplanets' size and masses, we can see compositions ranging from very rocky like Earth and Venus to very gas-rich like Jupiter and Saturn. Exoplanets are made up of elements that are similar to those found in our solar system's planets, but their compositions may differ. Water or ice may dominate some planets, while iron or carbon may dominate others. We've discovered lava worlds with molten seas, puffy planets with the density of styrofoam, and planets with dense cores still orbiting their stars. Scientists have been discovering the planets centuries ago, even without the advanced telescopes. We can see the planets of our solar system, even with the naked eye. However, that's not the case with exoplanets. The reason why they have not been seen before lies in the distance. Exoplanets are several light years away from us at their closest. Another reason behind this is that, unlike stars, exoplanets do not emit their own light. They, like our own planet, are only illuminated by light reflected from their local star. Exoplanets are extremely dim in comparison to their stars. Even the largest are drowned in the light of their much brighter star. So still today, even with the advanced telescopes, we are not able to detect most of them. However, scientists came up with some indirect methods to search the exoplanets in search of the answer to "Are we alone in the universe?" Most exoplanets are found through indirect methods, measuring the dimming of a star that happens to have a planet pass in front of it, called the transit method, or monitoring the spectrum of a star for telltale signs of a planet pulling on its star and causing its light to subtly Doppler shift. Thousands of planets have been discovered by observing transits, the slight dimming of a star's light as its tiny planet passes between it and our telescopes. Another method of detection is gravitational lensing, also known as the wobble method. This does not seem easy for scientists to discover exoplanets, and can you imagine how hard it will be to study them? Finding an Earth-like planet, particularly one with life, has been and continues to be the driving force behind our searches for and explorations of these faraway worlds. Well, with the iconic James Webb Space Telescope out there, we might get the answer. With the largest space telescope out there in space, scientists are getting hopeful for finding what they could not do to date. This includes finding life in this massive universe. Among many other missions, one of the important missions for JWST is to find the signs of alien life, and according to the scientists, they know where James Webb should exactly look: Proxima b. At only 4 light-years away, Proxima Centauri b is our closest known exoplanet neighbor. Its discovery was announced in 2016. It is a super-Earth exoplanet orbiting an M-class star. It takes 11.2 Earth days to complete one orbit around its star, and it is just 17% more massive than our planet. The planet orbits around Proxima Centauri, the closest neighbor star to the Sun. Proxima b orbits its parent star at a distance of 4.6 million miles or 7.5 million kilometers, only 5% of the distance between Earth and the Sun, which is 93 million miles or about 150 million kilometers. The question is, what makes scientists so interested in this planet? The answer lies in the fact that it orbits in the star's habitable zone, which means that liquid water could exist there, and possibly even life. The habitable zone of Proxima Centauri is extremely close to its parent star when compared to our Sun. Because Proxima Centauri is much colder than the Sun, its habitable range is extremely small. Scientists used to think that red dwarf stars like Proxima couldn't possibly have habitable planets orbiting so close to them. However, now astronomers think red dwarfs may be the best place to look for habitable exoplanets. Astronomers believe Proxima b could be an Earth-like exoplanet. Its mass tells astronomers that it's likely to be a rocky terrestrial planet like Earth. The exoplanet is thought to be tidally locked and rotating in lockstep with its star, with one side always facing the star and the other always facing away, which means it has a light side and a dark side. According to Professor Avi Loeb of Harvard University, a colleague who spent months in space told him that his best part about staying out there was observing the night side of Earth and seeing its lights. Avi Loeb says that if the event Proxima b is already inhabited by a technological civilization, its day side may be coated with photovoltaic cells to generate electricity that would illuminate and warm the night side, which is otherwise to be cold and dark for comfortable life. Astronomer Alejandro Suarez Mascherano says that Proxima b is one of the most interesting planets known in the solar neighborhood. First discovered by an older spectrograph, HARPS, or High Accuracy Radial Velocity Planet Searcher, which is installed on a scope at ESO's La Silla Observatory in Chile. There is much more scientists do not know about this planet, including the possibility of alien life. And this is where the James Webb is going to help them. Avi Loeb says that the masterpiece James Webb could potentially detect lights on the permanent night side of Proxima b. Webb could detect artificial illumination, even if it was as dim as what our civilization currently uses on the night side of Earth, as long as it was limited to a frequency band 1,000 times narrower than starlight. The astronomer also wrote an interesting thing about the detection of alien life on the exoplanet. As Proxima b orbits its star every 11 days, making birthday celebrations 30 times more frequent than on Earth, the high demand for bright lights during birthday parties on the night side of Proxima b would be reason for us to celebrate as well if the signal would be noticed by our future telescopes. Most importantly, if Webb finds city lights on Proxima b, NASA should consider building a larger telescope to follow these faint lights and learn more about the continents and politics of this distant world. This is about what future research will reveal, but it seems like Proxima Centauri b has already signaled us about the presence of some alienation there. The Guardian, a British newspaper, reported on December 18, 2020, that a mysterious signal was coming from Proxima Centauri. The signal appears to come from our neighboring star's direction and cannot be dismissed as Earth-based interference, raising the remote possibility that it is a transmission from Advanced Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or ETI, a so-called technosignature. The researchers who made the discovery warn that there is still a lot of work to be done, but admit that the excitement is justified. Andrew Simone from the University of California, Berkeley says, "It has some particular properties that caused it to pass many of our checks, and we cannot yet explain it. Most enigmatically, it operates in a very narrow band of the radio spectrum, 982 MHz to be precise, which is usually devoid of transmissions from human-made satellites and spacecraft. According to Simone, we don't know of any natural way to compress electromagnetic energy into a single bin in frequency like this one. Perhaps some exotic quirk of plasma physics, he speculates, could be a natural explanation for the tantalizingly concentrated radio waves. But for the moment, the only source that we know of is technological. We can say that it can be something from the dark side of Proxima b, What do you think about the discovery of advanced alien civilizations by the iconic James Webb if it detects the lights on Proxima b?